Alright people, how's it going? Quancredible here, bringing you the chapter review for the 201st chapter of Black Clover. Now the thing with this chapter is, I really feel like this chapter should have been chapter 200 and not the one last week, but it is what it is. So, I'm not gonna take too long, just gonna get right into it because there's lots of stuff to talk about here. So the chapter starts with the devil reaching the door on the highest floor of the palace. He was trying to get out, but standing in front of the door is Lich just waiting for him. To which Lich basically says, I'm not going to let you escape. To which then Lich and the devil, they talk for a bit and then they start to fight. Devil uses his word magic a lot more in this chapter. He makes like a spear of lightning. He makes an earth shield. He uses the sword storm and like smashes up the ground. One thing I want to touch on really quick about the storm of swords is that this is the same move that he used against Asta and Yuno that they could barely hold off against, and Lich single-handedly fends off all of the swords by itself. So this just goes to show that Lich has some kind of crazy power if he's able to deal with something that Asta and Yuno combined in their power-up forms couldn't even handle. I believe it's also worth noting that Lich did all this in a half awakened state. As the devil stated earlier, Lich is only half awakened, so in my mind that means he's only using about half of his actual strength. But then after that, the devil says bind, and these black things come out and grab his sword. Twitchy says one of the weaknesses of the demon dweller sword, I think in general, he says that it can't absorb actual matter, and word magic can create actual matter. So what this means to me, and this could also translate to Asta, is that if there is a magic that can create an actual physical thing that isn't that doesn't only consist of magic, then it may be able to take the magical properties away from it, but the physical thing will still be there. Like say someone has the magic to actually materialize a physical chain. Like it's not like Ravici's chains where they're just strictly magical and they'll go away. Like if he just chooses them to, but one that actually is physically there, then he wouldn't be able to cut through it or negate it. Or if he was going to cut through it, he'd have to use his actual physical strength. But anyway, this also shows that word magic is super overpowered still because you can create literal physical things just using your words. Yeah, so then after that, the devil tries to shoot like this giant iron lance at Lich, but then the elf version of Charlotte, I believe her name is Charla, comes in and I guess stops it, or not really stops it, but like offset its path just a little bit. Which I guess important to note that she could only alter the path and not stop it, which just again shows how strong the devil is. And then shortly after she arrives, Yami comes down, and then just like I had said numerous times in my past videos, he went along to fight the devil. So then we get something that we finally been waiting for a long time. Yami and Charlotte, or even if it is the elf version of Charlotte, I still take it as a Yami and Charlotte team up. They work together to fight against the devil. And then honestly, a lot of this fight just consisted of Charlotte saving Yami. Like the devil tries to use Wall of Flames, but she blocks it with her briars. That gives Yami an opening to use his black hole and then try to attack. And then again, the devil tries to spam like Storm of Swords or whatever. But these briars are like pretty strong because they're able to just stop them all together, which gives Yami another opening for his dark clouded dimension slash, which was enough to cut through the devil's wing and arm, which is another thing to bring up when Asta and Yuno charged at the devil a couple chapters ago. They only were powerful enough to nick his arm, whereas the dark clouded dimension slash was enough to cut fully through his wing and his arm. Now this definitely does speak a bit for the dark clouded dimension slash's speed. I definitely still think it is a linear move that needs a bit of setup. I guess what I'm trying to say is if Yami wanted to get that move off just without setup, the devil probably would have dodged it. I do believe that the devil only got hit mostly because Charlotte had him covered. But then after that, on the last page, it goes back out to outside of the palace, back where Finral and Langris are just laid out. I think there's random mages that I don't know who they are, but they finished healing Finral. I'm assuming they probably healed Langris too. But after that, Nero is waking up Finral, to which Nero wants him to take him to the skeleton of the demon, which would have to be the demon head. And then with that, that is the chapter. There's a lot to talk about here. So we have Nero talking finally. Some of the mystery of Nero is finally about to be unraveled, which I am super excited to see exactly who or what he is. I know on one hand, a lot of people think he is the Wizard King and that he wants Finral to take him to the statue that is on top of the demon skeleton so we can kind of get back to that body. My only problem with that theory is that if Nero could just go to the statue to get his body, I don't see why he wouldn't have done that until now. Like it would just there almost seems like there'd be no reason to follow around Asta. Then other people think that he's going to resurrect the first Wizard King, which again, like I just said about the other one, why wouldn't he have been did this? Like there has to be a reason why he hasn't gone there himself to do any of this yet. There has to be some kind of reason. Other theories I have is I definitely think that the other members of the Shadow Palace will start to realize what's going on, like with Marileona and Veto and like Jack and Fauna. Like I definitely think other people there will start to feel all this crazy magic fighting that's going on other places and I guess congregate to it to I guess try to stop it. Now, what I think is going to happen is I think that the devil is going to beat Yami and Charlotte and Lich isn't going to be able to stop him and he's going to escape out. But then I think once he gets out, whatever Nero is planning and Lich will stop him. Like I don't know what Nero is planning, but it definitely has to involve the first Wizard King in some way. Outside of that, this chapter was super hype. 9 out of 10 for me. I'm really pumped to see what's going to happen next week. Let me know what you guys' theories are down below. Please feel free to like and share. And outside of that, I will catch you guys in my next video.